little bit bigger than these, so.
Railroad. My name is Don. I'll be your conductor this morning. We have a few very simple safety rules that we are going to ask everyone follow. First, please do not move back and forth between the cars while the train is in motion. Please keep anything you may hold near and dear inside the train. Children, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, your vid cam, whatever it may be. And please do not stand on the benches or sit on the rails of the cars while the train is moving. We're also going to ask, as best possible, you do remain seated during the trip. One final thing, please turn off your cell phones. They do interfere with the navigational equipment on board the engine. Boy, and every one of them reached for them. The right-of-way we're traveling over today is from the original V&T or Virginia and Truckee Railroad. It was started 1869 by William Sharon, a San Francisco banker. You climbed on today was started in 1974 by a gentleman by the name of Robert Gray. Mr. Gray did ride the last V&T train between Minden and Reno in 1950. At that time, he made a promise to himself to rebuild the V&T. You are riding on that promise today. Mr. Gray did pass away 2 years ago. The trestle works we're about to roll under is all that remains of the overhead bucket delivery system, to the tune of about $7 million lost. Left now, just on the other side of the tracks here, you will notice two holes in the ground with some stakes around them. They do mark the mine named after one of the more famous or infamous ladies of Virginia City, the Julia Mine. About 3,000 feet deep sections of this mine, as well as many others, had temperatures that exceeded 140 degrees. Miners would work 15-minute shifts, come to the surface, or go to one of the ice sign crews. They did this throughout an entire 8-hour work shift. The Cornish immigrant miners who came here to work didn't mind working under these conditions, besides being the very finest in the world for that day and time. Here in Virginia City, they were also the highest paid, making $4 a day. Don't sound like much by today's standards, but when you consider the average hard rock miner was making about 60 to 80 cents a day, you can see they were extremely well paid. A room cost them $1 a week, a steak dinner 2 bits, a hot bath a dime, leaving them plenty of money for recreation. Of course, everybody knows what kind of recreation that was, right? Theater, opera, that sort of thing. Just now starting to come into bloom. You'll notice some of the plants, some of the sagebrush plants with yellow blooms on them. Coyotes, jackrabbits, cottontail rabbits, ground squirrel, mule deer, as well as an occasional mountain lion and brown bear roam the hills and canyons around Virginia City. There also are numerous herds of wild horses roaming the hills and canyons. On your trip back to Reno or Carson City, be sure and keep your eyes open on the hillsides. Quite often, herds of these horses can be seen grazing there. As you pass, used in the building of the tunnel as the primary explosive of the era, nitroglycerin was quite expensive and rather volatile. The tunnel is about 470 feet long, took about 6 months to build. The V&T was built between Carson City and Virginia City in a little less than a year. As we exit the tunnel now, I'd like to welcome you to Gold Canyon. The original gold discovery site was located at the mouth of the canyon. Miners headed for the gold fields of California. Once again, back to the left side of the train, in the canyon below us, the little town of Gold Hill. In the 1870s, it wasn't so little. Believe it or not, over 10,000 people lived here. Today, about 69. The large mill building you see down there marks the Crown Point Mill and Mine. The two small metal buildings there beside the hotel mark the main entrance to the Yellow Jacket Mine. The oldest continuously operating hotel and saloon in Nevada, the Gold Hill, is in view. A gentleman by the name of Sam Clemens used to come here, tip a few, tell a few stories. You know him by a little different name, that name being Mark Twain. The red brick printed building you see down there is the old Bank of California, owned and operated by William Sharon. To the right and to the rear now, the other entrance to Tunnel 3. As you can see, this end is in far better condition. As we come back up the hill, take a really close look at Tunnel 3. I'll bet if you look close enough, you just might see the light at the end of the tunnel. The two apartment buildings sit on the site of the Gold Hill School. The steeple here with the bell in it is all that remains of the Liberty Engine Company. The rest of the building, a fire station, burned to the ground. Welcome to the Gold Hill Depot. The depot you see located here is the original Gold Hill Depot. Built in the late 1860s, abandoned with the rest around the 1930s. At that time, taken over by Story County for a $1 bill. There has been some refurbishing done to the facility. In the month of December, on weekends, a jolly little fellow in a red suit takes up residence at the Gold Hill Depot. making a very short stop here in Gold Hill. If you'd like to change cars at that time, please feel free to do so. We do ask that you do remain on board the train. The one exception to that, if you'd like to step up, go one. through what remains of tunnel number 5. The tunnel is daylighted or the roof removed by the Highway Department to facilitate the building of Truck Route 341. As we clear tunnel number 5, I'd like to present to you a panoramic view of the gem of the Comstock, Virginia City, Nevada. At one time, the population of Virginia City was over 35,000. Today, hovering around 700. Ahead and to the right, the spires of St. Mary's in the Mountains Church. Built in 1869, burning down in the Great Fire of 1875. So great was the wealth here, though, that by the following year, the town had been completely rebuilt where there was barely a trace of a fire. So great, in fact, was the wealth, much of early San Francisco was built and financed with money from the mines of Virginia City. We want our money back. Yeah, no, good luck on that one, right? To our right now, the modern-day B&T yards. They are located on the site of the original 6 old B&T roundhouse, a roundhouse that operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. During its heyday, the B&T was running over 45 trains a day up and down the mountain. The Pullman cars you see here and the engine that's pulling you, be sure and watch for them in the next Leonardo DiCaprio movie. I forget what the name of it is. It was filmed in Oklahoma, and those cars and this engine was used in that movie. To our left now on the hill just above us here, the Collar Mine, originally owned by Billy Collar. It was the 5th richest producing mine in Virginia City. It is open for mine tours. The red roof building up there with the flag flying over it, despite what you think it may be, that's the old 4th Ward School. 1,000 students per year attended grades 1st through 12th. It'll let you off here without at least one more. I'm sure somebody may even know the answer to this one. Can anyone tell me why a steam engine cannot sit down? Why a steam engine cannot sit down? Because it has a tender behind. The large metal building on our right is one of the few remaining from the Savage Mining Company operations. Again, to the right, you can look down 6 Mile Canyon and just see Sugarloaf Mountain there in the haze. Sugarloaf was home to several small mining and leaching operations. Coming into view here to our left now on the hill above us, the Mackey Mansion, the home of John Mackey, miner, mine owner, and philanthropist. John Mackey was so well thought of by his fellow Nevadans that the finest mining school in the world bears his name. The Mackey School of Mines at the University of Nevada in Reno. Go Wolfpack. The lone fact about John Mackey, he was the driving force and financing behind the first transatlantic telegraph line. The management crew of the B&T would like to thank you for taking time out of your day, spending a little of it with us. Sure hope you've had a good time and enjoyed yourselves. Hope you have a really fun day here in Virginia City, and we would like to invite you back the next time you're in town. As you depart the train, we are going to ask that you depart to the depot or platform side. Again, have a real fun day, and be sure and visit us at VirginiaTruckee.com or on our Facebook page for a complete listing of all the upcoming events here on the VNT.
Trade out the battery sometimes and trick it.